We're live at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Stone Grissom.
And I'm Stacey Bell. A jury found that Dharun Ravi spied on his roommate, Tyler Clementi, and that he did it because of a bias against gays.
Now, it was a case that captured headlines when Clementi committed suicide and brought the problem of cyberbullying into the national spotlight. News 12 Long Island's Christine Insinger has more on the verdict and reaction from the newsroom.
After hearing from 30 witnesses over 12 days, a jury found Dharun Ravi guilty on all 15 counts. The reaction to the verdict today was quite mixed, even within the gay community.
We find the defendant guilty or not guilty as to TC.
Guilty.
Slightly shaking his head at times, Dharun Ravi sat emotionless as he listened to a jury convict him on invasion of privacy and bias intimidation charges. A member of the Pride Network at Hofstra University, William Moriarty, says he closely followed the story of Ravi and his roommate Tyler Clementi since the beginning. He says this was the right verdict and a win for the gay community.
It was, a hate crime. It was a bias-based crime, which is really important for the gay community, in my opinion.
A jury found that Ravi used a webcam to spy on Clementi and another man because he was biased against gays. He even told other students to, quote, check it out.
It was clear from the evidence that this defendant purposefully went after Tyler Clementi to embarrass him because he was gay. He tweeted about it. How can the evidence not be there?
But Christian Fuscarino, also of the Pride Network, disagrees.
Was it a biased crime? I don't personally think so. He's not a homophobic person. He was a college student who didn't think through in his actions.
Clementi, just 18 years old, committed suicide, jumping off the George Washington Bridge shortly afterwards. Ravi now faces up to 10 years in jail.
He needs to go away for a long time to do justice to Tyler Clementi and also to send a message to everyone out here in America that it is not okay to go out and intimidate and bully someone because they're gay.
Ravi was acquitted on some aspects of some of the charges, but is still considered guilty on all 15 counts as a whole. He's scheduled to be sentenced on May 21st and could also be deported back to his native India. Christine Insinger, News 12, Long Island.
Welcome back. Tonight on Talk with Tyrell, the Dharun Ravi verdict and what it means. Today, a jury convicted Ravi on 15 major counts against him, including invasion of privacy and anti-gay intimidation. The former Rutgers student, now 20, used a webcam to spy on his roommate, Tyler Clementi, in an intimate encounter with another man. Now, he then tweeted about it and tried to catch Clementi in the act again 2 days later. Now, days after finding out that he was spied on, including reading Ravi's tweets, Clementi killed himself by jumping off the George Washington Bridge. After today's verdict, Clementi's father spoke to the media.
We were here every day because we wanted to be here for our son and because we believed this trial was important because it dealt with important issues for our society and for our young people today.
Well, joining me tonight to talk about the verdict and what it means going forward, David Kilmnick, CEO of Long Island Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Services Network. And always, David, thank you for coming in to talk about this topic because I know the teens at the center were probably watching this very closely.
Yeah, all the teenagers that come to our centers in both Bayshore and Garden City have been watching this closely over the past couple of years, and today was a major step forward in justice being served. I would say 90% justice being served. There still was a little bit more that could have been done. He could have been found guilty on higher count charges, higher degree charges, as well as given some justice to the guy that was with Tyler Clementi as well.
What did the teens have to say? How did they react? There had to be a lot of discussion after this came in.
Well, what we heard from many of the teenagers was that that they felt a sense of justice that he was found guilty. There was some sense of them being worried that he wasn't going to be found guilty because of the argument being made by the prosecutors that he didn't know anything about gay people, he didn't know anything about homosexuality, which we know is absolutely not true. You'd have to be living under a rock not to. And our teenagers have seen far too much that, and for far too long, people's homophobia being justified by people's moral values and religious values. So there were all those factors that were that were worrying some of the teenagers. So it was a sense of relief today that they felt that perhaps they can have some sense of privacy, some sense of safety, although that didn't totally wipe out the feelings of not feeling safe in their schools and communities. But it was a positive feeling today of justice being served.
There was a lot of debate going on the Facebook page about whether this was a fair verdict, whether it was truly justice, or whether it was a little overreaching, and a lot of people on both sides, I mean, they're pro and con, but the people who were arguing against felt a lot like Ravi's lawyer did and said, the college freshman who wasn't motivated by any malice towards gays, is what his lawyer said, his actions were just those of an immature kid. I know you've heard that argument many times before in this case. How do you respond to that? It went beyond immaturity. It went beyond immaturity because he was targeting Tyler Clemente because he was gay. I mean, it was so simple. It was so out there. The facts were presented so clearly. In fact, he tweeted about it himself. I mean, he was bragging about setting up a camera in the room to film Tyler Clemente and embarrass him because he was gay. Because I said I remember something with a guy. I caught him with a guy.
Yeah. Caught him with a dude. Look, let's all get together. I mean, they were having a party to watch what was going on in the room and to ridicule him. That to me goes beyond just a sense of immaturity.
Just regular bullying and immaturity, that it was definitely for you bias-based bullying.
It was totally bias-based bullying. He was specifically targeting Tyler Clemente because he was gay and because of his sexual orientation. There's no two ways about it.
The jury in interviews afterwards said that they had a little bit of difficulty reaching the guilty verdicts on the hate crime counts. But they said when they were presented with the fact that Ravi twice used the webcam or twice tried to use the webcam, it was the first time they weren't so sure. But the second time, the second effort is really what sold them on the bias behind it.
Yeah, I guess, they saw it as a pattern of behavior. It wasn't just a one-time thing where someone thought it was a joke to do. And the fact that someone would even think to do something like this, to embarrass someone because of who they are, one time is enough. But I guess for some folks that haven't really dealt with bias and hate crimes, perhaps they need to see a pattern of behavior, and that's what helped them do it here. But, I think it's important to note that even if it only happened once, it's still a bias crime.
And quickly, prison time, 10 years, do you think that's too much, enough? Or should there be any mercy shown?
I don't think there should be any mercy shown. Tyler Clemente is not here anymore. His family has to live the rest of their lives not having their son. I think, he should get the full amount, and I wish it was more than 10 years, but he should definitely get the full 10 years.
David, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. I appreciate it. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Same here.